Good morning. Welcome to Bellingham Unitarian Fellowship, or BUF, as it is affectionately known around here. I am Reverend Sunny McMillan. If you are new around here, that is not normal. I just got ordained last weekend, so I can finally be called Reverend officially. So I'm the minister around here at BUF, and my pronouns are she and her. This is an exciting day for BUF as we will welcome 8 new members to our congregation in a special ceremony a little later in our service. It also is a bittersweet day because yesterday we gave a good goodbye and farewell party to a few beloved members who will be moving soon, Ellie and Alan Friedlob and Jamie and David Curley. It was a beautiful event full of emotion and memories and music, and you all will be missed. Yeah. As we move toward our new member ceremony today, I have to confess that before I knew how things were done around here with new members and ceremonies, and before we had this service on the calendar, a few of our 8 new members already signed the book in my office. So you will notice that they will not sign the book during the ceremony. That's not in any way reflective of the ceremony. It's my bad. So, sorry. And I just want to note, the kids will be in the service a little bit longer than normal. We wanted them to see the new member ceremony. So if kids are getting restless, please take care of yourselves. We got the wiggle room in the back if you need to get up and move around. Thank you, parents, for being patient as we keep the kids in a little longer than we usually do. We'll also be talking a bit today about belonging and membership and community, because all of these things are wrapped up together. In my year-long transitional ministry training class that I'm just about to complete, we've talked a bit about inclusion and belonging. And in that class, we defined belonging as that feeling of security, acceptance of identity, and the ability to thrive, including within the congregation. There's a lot that goes into creating a community of security, acceptance of identity, and the ability to thrive. It takes the time, the talent, and the treasure of many. And I just want to acknowledge a few folks this morning who have recently given greatly of their time and their talent, specifically David Shirey, who I've lately seen around BUF more than Doug Branson even. Yeah. He cleaned out the loft above the AV booth. He worked with Jim Reimer, who's in the booth right now, to create the handrails outside the I Street entrance. He installed new lights in the social hall along that dark wall, and he maintains all several hundred-something light bulbs in the entire building. Anytime they go out, he's on it. Thank you, David. And also Rod Haynes, who I have seen pressure washing the sidewalks and who I caught mowing the grass out back yesterday. I didn't know who was taking care of that. And of course, Doug Branson, who continues to be the volunteer extraordinaire, who's a member of all the committees and safety team and all of the things. So thank you all. Also, as a broader part of this service on belonging and membership, we are excited that Allison, our congregational administrator, is here today. Allison, if you haven't met her yet, yay! She is going to be in the social hall during the potluck for anyone who needs assistance getting into Breeze. Breeze is our congregational database, and its really biggest, most helpful function is to serve as our directory, because gone are the days of those wonderful paper directories with photos. So Breeze is the way that you can find your friends, find an email, find a photo, find a phone number, because access to these kinds of resources is part of creating a community of belonging. So please talk to Allison after the service, and she will help you get set up in Breeze if you want that access. And I also believe Rod Haynes may have his his photo booth set up again in the social hall if you need a picture taken. Mark Allen is giving me a thumbs up, so yes, if you need a picture taken, connect with Rod. Okay, enough housekeeping. Let's deepen into our service today. I invite you to take a breath, settle in, put your phone in worship mode, and Ian will play us in with our prelude.
I'm Tom Nicholas, and I'm the celebrant for today's service. I take the pronouns he and him. Carrie Keenline and Alan Friedlob. If you know these two people, you might not be used to hearing their names spoken in the same breath. They move in different circles, and their personalities are very different. But they have something important in common. They both, each in their own way, try to live mindfully. With Carrie, I feel like it takes the form of listening to herself. She pays attention to what she's feeling, and she uses what she picks up on to guide the decisions she makes. Seeing her do that inspires me to try to do the same thing. Alan does something similar with situations that he finds himself in. I feel like he asks himself, what is really going on here? And he uses the answer he comes up with to help him decide if he wants to continue being part of that situation or not. He once said to me that Buff is a community that's built on aspirations. When he says things like that, they stick in my mind and help me think. And I think Alan was right. Where followers of other religions have a creed that holds them together, Unitarian Universalists have a set of aspirations: justice, equity, pluralism, generosity, interdependence, transformation. We aspire to live these values out in our everyday lives. It isn't easy, and we aren't always successful, but we try. And as we try, we learn from each other, as I learn from Carrie and Alan. And love, we say, is at the center of those values. Here, I want to add the word open. I can't love you if I don't open my heart to you, and vice versa. And part of what it means for our community to hold a spirit of love is that we open our community to new members. Even people who don't come from the same background we do or think the same way we do. Even people who pull us out of our comfort zone, maybe especially people who pull us out of our comfort zone. In the service today, we're going to go over some practical information about how our community is structured, and we're going to welcome some new members. But before we do all that, I just wanted to talk a little bit about what makes us a community. And something that has occurred to me as I've been working on this little speech is how much we need our differences. Our differences from each other, even though they sometimes drive us crazy, are part of what it makes it possible for us to learn from each other. Which brings me to a quotation from Desmond Tutu that's on the back of one of the t-shirts that I wear to my yoga classes. Differences are not intended to separate or to alienate. We are different precisely in order to realize our need for each other.
So this morning, one of our new members, Marin, will be sharing the words as we light our chalice. And part of the fun of welcoming new members is learning of their unique gifts and talents that will enrich the life of this congregation. So when I met with Marin before she joined, she spoke the poem she's about to share today, and I asked her to share it for this service as I light our chalice. Welcome, Marin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marin. I use she, her pronouns. And this is a poem I wrote about what humans can achieve together. Skyscrapers tower, shining with our power. Billions of brains grow up and flower. Whole new reality, behind my eyes I see. Holy we, sing praise to humanity. We have harnessed lightning, and we run the sky. We slash the dark with lighting, and we reach for why. It burns inside our core, and with pen in hand, we'll seek out more and more, past what we understand. The heavens at night, our cities outglow, each ceiling so tight, we fast outgrow. Weave that narrative, paint that scene, that drive, that imperative, wild, serene. United we stand, and though we fall, unguided, unplanned, we'll see it all. Offer your aid and proffer your love. The foundation's laid, let's build above. As we light this chalice, we do so with pride and thankfulness for every hand that facilitated it, from the first inventors of fire to the workers in the match and candle factories. Thank you.
Thank you, Marin. I hope that you will share more of your poetry as we grow together. In just a few moments, we will begin our new member ceremony and welcome our new members. But before I do that, I want to acknowledge that part of welcome and inclusion means that everyone has transparent access to such things as how to contact committee and team leaders, board members and staff, how to become a committee member, how to join a social justice action team, and knowing what committees and teams and small groups are even available. Our operations team has put a great deal of effort into revising our Buff organizational chart, and I just want to share it now as a way of providing that transparent access. Our hope is that this will be helpful to new folks around here at Buff so you can see exactly what is available to you and how this place works and where you may at some point want to get involved. I also want to point out what board member Erin Ayers shared with me at one point, that at the very top of this chart is congregation. The people, the members, the friends, you all are the lifeblood, and without you, none of these roles or responsibilities would exist. And I will give you a minute to take in this chart and just see how much goes on around here at Buff, just how many opportunities there are to be a part of this community and find belonging. And one thing I really want to point out is look at our Social and Environmental Justice Committee here. These are all the teams that we have going at any given moment. There are things happening around that. Also, we've got our affinity groups. So if you see something you want to join, talk to Allison in the front office. Or if you do not see something and you want to start it, that is a possibility as well. So you can see all these various areas from administration, ministry, growth and learning, community within Buff, and then community beyond, which is the work that we do out in the world. So please, I invite you to check this chart out. It is available on the Buff website to find out more. And enough with the org chart. Now on to our main event, the new member ceremony. We are living in a time when folks are leaving houses of worship, where belonging to a church is no longer the expected norm in our culture, and where we have realized that the demands to attend events and join organizations and committees and parent-teacher associations is beyond what many can manage, especially while going to school or working or raising a family. So we have to be really selective and discerning in where we make commitments and use our precious time and our energy, which is why it is so darn special when folks decide to join us. So today it is my great honor and privilege to welcome 8 new members to Bellingham Unitarian Fellowship. I did just get word that one of our new members is sick, so we've got 7 here today, but our additional member, Sue Smith, will sign the book at a later time. New members, I invite you to come forward, and our board and hospitality representatives, I invite you to come forward as well. We have from the board Tom Nicholas and Erin Ayers and Peggy Jones. These are 3 of our board members. And I see several others out in the congregation. And then we also have Judy Casper, head of our hospitality committee, representing hospitality. New members, you all are now becoming part of this congregation's history, its present, and its future.
Today, whether we were born into this faith or chose it for ourselves, Unitarian Universalism asks us to renew and recommit every time we gather. As UU writer Liz James notes, this religion is not a thing you join, it's a thing you're called to co-create. We're delighted that you have chosen us as your co-creators, and we are grateful that you have pledged to support the work of this community, both financially and in your own unique ways.
Building community is an essential part of our Unitarian Universalist tradition, as well as congregational life here at Buff. Building community is a life-affirming, sometimes challenging, always complex art, one that takes practice, reflection, and affirmation from time to time.
As we grow in our relationships, we appreciate new faces, new ideas, and new perspectives.
So we appreciate the opportunity to welcome new members and renew our sense of purpose as we work toward creating beloved community.
In this living tradition of ours, we're able to accomplish together what we could never do on our own. Our individual quests and our collective strength are intertwined, both nourishing and rooting each other. As our membership grows, so does our potential for healing out in the world.
Our new members will now sign the book, receive their name buttons, and a rose.
And you have printed in your order of service the names of our new members as well. Does everyone have their name button, their rose, all of the things? Okay. Great. I now invite the congregation, including our board members up front, as well as our hospitality representative, to read the congregational affirmation, and then after that, our new members will read their affirmation. And for the congregation, the words are both printed in your order of service on the insert, and they should be up on the screen as well. And now, congregation. The members of Bellingham Unitarian Fellowship welcome you joyfully into this community. We are grateful for each of you as you join this congregation as equal members. We accept and affirm you as you are. We look forward to discovering the intersections between your gifts and fresh opportunities to grow into its mission. And we invite you into a journey of spiritual exploration taken in community, in times of shared joy and in times of shared conflict, when our visions align and when we fall short. We will remember the promises that we made and return to each other in the spirit of love. May your presence here change us all for the better. And now our new members.
As new members of Bellingham Unitarian Fellowship, we have crossed the threshold into a new relationship with this congregation, a deepened commitment, a broader openness, a brighter path of possibility. We pledge our gifts in support of the ministries of this congregation and ask for your support as we find our way in this faith. In times of shared joy and in times of shared conflict, when our visions align and when we fall short, we will remember the promises we made and return to each other in the spirit of love.
And now I invite Allie Wright. This was her idea and her contribution to our service, a little bit of pageantry. She's going to light her candle from the chalice candle and share the flame with the new members. And just like we do on Christmas Eve, they will light each other's candles. And after all of the candles are lit, we will recite our covenant together with members and friends, both new and old. And now I invite the entire congregation to speak our covenant together. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service gives it life. Celebrating our diversity and joined by a quest for truth, we work for peace and honor all creation. This is our covenant. New members, you may now place your lit candles in the sand in the container on the table and return to your seats. May the light of each candle be a reminder of the light within each of you and the light you bring to Bellingham Unitarian Fellowship as our newest members.
Good morning. My name is Lucy Kesterson, and my pronouns are she, her. This morning we're going to sing a song from our new hymnal, Sing Out Love, by Emily Joy Goldberg. This song reflects our values with love at the center. It has some synonyms, some words that mean the same or close to the same as the values in our circle, and some hand gestures. So I'm going to go through the hand gestures first. First hand gesture is giving, where we hold our hands out like we're giving somebody something. Second hand gesture is change, like the changing of the wheel. The third hand gesture is differences. So we hold our fingers together and we spread them. Then we get to love. And when we say love, let's hold our hands over our hearts and do a little heartbeat. Next, we have justice. We hold our hand up high in a fist. I have to sing it in my head, sorry. Next comes fairness. And for that, we hold our hands up like a scale. And finally, we have the web of life. And when we say the web of life, we bring our fingers together like a web. And during our chorus, let's clap our hands. Okay, please rise in body and spirit for Love is at the Center.
Love is at the center, there is love. Love is at the center, there is love. I believe in the power of giving, I believe in the power of change, I believe in the power of differences, I believe in love. Oh, love is at the center, there is love. Love is at the center, there is love. I believe in the power of justice, I believe in the power of fairness, I believe in the web of life, I believe in love. Love is at the center, there is love. Love is at the center, there is love. One more time. Love is at the center, there is love. Love is at the center, there is love.
Hey, good morning. I'm Liz Epperson, the Religious Education Director here at Buff, and I'm here with my son, Peter.
Hello, I'm Peter Epperson.
We're going to read a book dedicated to all of you, but especially our new members, about how one friend can make a difference. And I just want to say congratulations to all of us for all the new friends that we've made here at Buff, especially our new members. This actually is a book we've read in our family for a long time. We actually got it from another Unitarian minister, their grandfather. Are you ready? Okay. While we're getting set up, I'm going to invite all the children up. If you don't come up, you should still be able to see the book up here, but we would love to have you. Mark and Ann would love to have you up here with them. Okay. Some of you won't be able to see us, but you can listen along. Okay. Switch with you.
Yoko by Rosemary Wells. What would you like for lunch today, my little cherry blossom? asked Yoko's mother. All my favorite things, please, answered Yoko. Yoko's mother spread steamed rice on a bamboo mat. She rolled up a secret treasure inside each piece. Then she packed it all in a willow-covered cooler. Have a wonderful day at school, my little cherry blossom, said Yoko's mother. I will, answered Yoko. Yoko said hello to all of her friends. Everyone in Mrs. Jenkins' class sang the good morning song. At noon, Mrs. Jenkins rang the lunch bell. Lunch boxes out and open, please, boys and girls, said Mrs. Jenkins. Timothy unwrapped a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Valerie had cream cheese and jelly. Fritz had a meatball grinder. Tulip had Swiss cheese on rye. Hazel had egg salad on pumpernickel. Doris had squeezed cheese on white. and the Franks had Franks and beans. Yoko opened the willow-covered cooler. Inside was her favorite sushi. Tucked in the rice rolls were the crispiest cucumber and the pinkest shrimp, the greenest seaweed and the tastiest tuna. "What's in your lunch?" asked one of the Franks. "Ick, it's green, it's seaweed." "Oh no," said the other Frank. "Don't tell me that's raw fish." "Watch out, it's moving," said Doris. "Yuckarama," said Tulip and Fritz. Valerie blew the playtime whistle. "Everybody out," said Valerie. Yoko did not want to play ball or swing on the swings. "What's wrong, Yoko?" said Mrs. Jenkins. "Everybody laughed at my lunch," answered Yoko. "They'll forget about it by snack time," said Mrs. Jenkins. But they didn't. During the snack time song, Yoko opened a thermos cup of red bean ice cream. "Red bean ice cream is for weirdos," snorted the Franks. Mrs. Jenkins switched to the friendly song. Mrs. Jenkins knew the friendly song was not enough. Late into the evening, she fretted about Yoko. Finally, the answer came to her. "Dear parents, Monday will be International Food Day at Hilltop School. Everyone is asked to bring in a dish from a foreign country. Everyone must try a bite of everything. Happy cooking, Mrs. Jenkins." "We will make a deluxe sushi for the whole class," said Yoko's mother. "Don't worry, my little cherry blossom. Everyone will try our sushi and everyone will love it." On Monday morning, Valerie and her mother carried in a plate of enchiladas. Timothy and his mother made Caribbean coconut crisps. Hazel brought Nigerian nut soup. Harry brought Brazil nuts. Doris brought Irish stew. Tulip brought potato niches. Monica brought a pitcher of mango smoothies. Fritz brought spaghetti. And Big Frank cooked up a pot of Boston Franks and beans. At noon, Mrs. Jenkins rang the lunch bell, and everyone sang the Clean Hands song. "What does International Food Day mean to us, boys and girls?" asked Mrs. Jenkins. "Try everything," said everybody. When Valerie blew the playtime whistle, there was not a nibble of nuts or a sip of smoothie left. But no one had touched even one piece of Yoko's sushi. Yoko sat under the learning tree. Suddenly, she heard a clickety-click of chopsticks. It was Timothy. He was still hungry. "Let me show you how," said Yoko. Timothy polished off the rest of the crab cones his own way. "Can we have sushi again tomorrow?" he said. "I'll ask my mother," answered Yoko. During the school bus song, Timothy found a coconut crisp in his pocket. He gave it to Yoko. "It's even better than red bean ice cream," said Yoko. On the bus, Timothy and Yoko made plans to push their desks together and open a restaurant the very next day. And they did. They ordered tomato sandwiches and dragon rolls. For dessert, they had brownies with green tea ice cream, and they couldn't have asked for anything more.
Thank you, and let's sing our kids up to their classes.
The doors of the churches upon earth do not stand so wide open that all sorts of people, good or bad, may freely enter therein at their pleasure, but such as are admitted thereto as members ought to be examined and tried first, whether they be fit to be received into church society or not. That is what the Cambridge Platform has to say about admission of members into the church. And believe it or not, the Cambridge Platform is the document created by the Puritans in New England in 1648 that established congregational polity as we Unitarian Universalists know it today. Those Puritans came from the Church of England, which had episcopal polity, meaning governance was hierarchical with authority and power in the hands of a select few bishops at the very top. The New England Puritans, however, found no bishops or cardinals or popes in the Bible, so they placed all religious authority in the gathered members of each congregation. And the Cambridge Platform is the document they came up with explaining just how this congregational governance would work. As Reverend Alice Blair Wesley explains in her introduction to the Contemporary Reader's edition of the Cambridge Platform, these Congregationalists understood the Bible to be mainly about the free and covenanted social practice of love. So the Congregationalists crafted covenants by which members agreed to walk together in fellowship, like the Salem Covenant in the 1600s, which uses the language, "We covenant one with another to walk together." This is how they made a congregation. This is how they created a church community. Not through stating, "We believe," but "We covenant to walk together." Now, in contrast to the Cambridge Platform statement on membership that I opened with just a few moments ago, the doors to Unitarian Universalist membership today do stand largely wide open. And as you saw this morning, we do not examine or try our new members to determine whether they be fit to be received at Buff. But there are some elements of the Cambridge Platform, like our congregational polity, that have stood the test of time and still define who we are as a faith tradition today. We have no ecclesiastical or denominational authority that dictates qualifications for membership or passes judgment on who can become a member. As preeminent scholar of American Unitarianism, the late Dr. Conrad Wright explains in the book Walking Together, it is for the individual to decide whether they belong within that community, not for the community to decide whether the applicant conforms to its doctrinal preferences. Self-authorization versus external authority. But when congregations are formed by individual choice versus official judgment, however, it does create some tension in our tradition. In 2001, the Unitarian Universalist Association, or UUA, issued a report entitled Belonging, the Meaning of Membership. They explained, there are risks involved, to be sure. King's Chapel in Boston ends up being somewhat different from a fellowship in California. Some people who join us find that they are in the wrong pew and move on somewhere else. Perhaps they go to the Quakers if we are too liturgical for their taste, or perhaps the Episcopalians if we're not liturgical enough. But there are others who find at last a place where they belong. They are the ones whose individual perspectives may be added to enrich the consensus that helps to make a community out of a collection of unrelated individuals. And I am thrilled that we are adding 8 new individual perspectives today who will enrich our consensus that makes us a community. Because, no surprise, humans need community. And the data reveals that those humans who belong to faith communities tend to live longer than those who don't. They are less lonely, more hopeful, more fulfilled. Rabbi Sharon Bruce calls this the Amen effect. Bruce is the founder and senior rabbi of ICAR, a progressive Jewish community in Los Angeles. She's had the honor of being named the #1 most influential rabbi in the US by Newsweek. And fun fact, she blessed both President Obama and President Biden at their national inaugural prayer services. Bruce describes the Amen effect as that very human longing for connection with others, with community, with strangers, maybe even with a higher power. Amen being an ancient word that appears in Jewish, Christian, and Muslim religious practice and is similar to the African Yoruba tradition of Ashe. According to Bruce, the word amen derives from the Hebrew word emunah, meaning belief or trust, as in, I believe you, I see you. So the amen effect is, quote, a spiritual strategy, a sacred call to the faithful and the cynical, the believer and the atheist, perhaps especially to those alienated by religious certainties, but still yearning to find meaning in moments both sacred and mundane. It calls us to show up, to err on the side of presence, and to engage in what Bruce calls the very holy work of not running away. That is what makes a day like today so special, a day where a group of folks have decided to make their commitment to this congregation official. Yes, there is the more corporate legal side of membership. You sign the book, you commit to financial support, and then you receive the right to vote on everything from the budget to a new minister. You're eligible to serve on the board, and you can represent the congregation at the General Assembly, which is our national yearly conference. And when Buff reports on its membership to the UUA, we get to proudly share that we're growing. That is membership in a nutshell, and you can find all of this information in our congregation's bylaws, which are available along with that org chart on our website at buff.org. I do want to take a quick moment to clear up a few misconceptions about membership and joining Buff that have been circulating leading up to this service. Number one, membership does not mean you have to increase your financial contribution. As we said in our stewardship communications this year, we have members who give $1 a year and members who give $10,000 plus a year. It really is up to you as to what you give, and all that is required is a financial contribution. Number two, you do not have to participate in the new member ceremony like we had today. You do not have to stand up front and say anything. You are always welcome to meet with me in my office and sign the book. So yes, there's the corporate legal side of membership, but membership is so much more than a name in the book. There is also the amen effect of showing up, of connection, of truly seeing each other. And there is hopefully that feeling of belonging that I mentioned in my welcome today, that feeling of security, acceptance of identity, and the ability to thrive. And that is why Conrad Wright once said that joining a UU congregation is not quite the same thing as joining the National Geographic Association. Earlier, I mentioned that UUA report on belonging, the meaning of membership. Before publishing that report, the UUA Commission on Appraisal spent 4 years exploring questions like, what is the meaning of membership? What is it that people seek when they affiliate with our congregations? What is it that congregations owe their membership? And what do members owe the congregation? When they asked participants in the study why they had joined a UU congregation, their responses were fairly predictable. People joined because they yearned for community. They wanted a place to engage in meaning making. They sought connections to the larger community. They wanted to feel spiritually grounded. They wanted to do social justice in a structured way. But the final and most important reason they found as to why people became members of our congregations, the need for growth and transformation. Joining does not end when you sign the book. In fact, membership is a transformative process that is ongoing, both for the individual who joins and for the congregation itself. Back when I was the ministerial intern at the Unitarian Society of New Haven, we, like many congregations in our UU tradition and denominations beyond, were looking for ways to attract new members, to bring in younger folks and families with small kids, and to overcome the statistics that said that people aren't joining houses of worship anymore. Folks suggested all the usual ideas like outreach to college campuses and expanding our social media presence. But there was one suggestion that caught our attention above all the others. Someone said, we, as a congregation, have to be willing to be changed by the folks who come through our doors. Membership is transformative because, as Reverend George Beach asserts, people do not join a covenanted community, rather they constitute it. There is no it without them, and each time new folks join, the whole is literally reconstituted. Today, Buff is reconstituted with these new members. Can we allow ourselves to be transformed, changed by their presence? But the transformation extends to you, our new members, as well. You are moving to a place of greater commitment. That report on belonging says, real community can only be built through hard and unglamorous work. Like any effective relationship, it requires commitment. And part of the church's job is to lead people to the discovery of the spiritual truth that it is only by giving that we receive, giving not only our money, but of ourselves. In other words, only by making a commitment to a community can we hope to build a community. And this commitment consists not only of lofty idealisms, but of practical realities. The volunteers I mentioned earlier today, David, Jim, Rod, and Doug, and so many others, know a thing or two about these practical realities. And all the folks who participate on the many committees and teams you saw on that org chart know of these practical realities. Membership is more than lofty idealisms. And membership, commitment, is not always easy. The late UU minister, Reverend G. Peter Fleck, speaks to this in his book, The Blessings of Imperfection. He writes, well, let's be frank. The church has its aggravations. The eternal and oh so necessary concern about finances, the annual recurring problems of balancing a budget, which I just want to pause here. We don't have that problem this year because of you all's generous pledge contributions. We hit our goal, so the budget approval was flying colors. Usually, though, there are the annual recurring problems of balancing a budget, of finding money for repairing the vestibule, the ongoing criticism of the minister's sermons, which are too pedantic for some and too colloquial for others, the endless committee meetings, the persistent shortage of tenors in the choir. Who wants it? Who needs it? The answer to this question is that we want it because we need it. The answer is that the liberal church, in spite of its shortcomings, is better, infinitely better than no church. So yes, membership is not always easy, but it is sacred. For something to be a sacrament simply means to render it sacred. And in the Catholic Church, initiation into the church is a sacrament. We don't do sacraments around here, but I still consider what we've done here today sacred. This ritual, this welcoming of new members, it is sacred. The showing up, the building of community, it is holy work. And the membership of these new folks means more than writing their name in the book. In the words of the UUA Commission and that report on belonging, the experience of membership offers to individuals the opportunity to become more whole, more committed to each other, and to that which is of ultimate worth, more grounded, more profoundly human, and more aware of the gift of community. A community united, as Tom said at the beginning, not by creed, but by covenant. Not we believe, but we covenant to walk together. In the mid-1800s, Theodore Parker, arguably the most influential American Unitarian minister who ever lived, and a leader in the Transcendentalist movement, wrote the following about our faith tradition. Be ours a religion which, like sunshine, goes everywhere. Its temple, all space. Its shrine, the good heart. Its creed, all truth. Its ritual, works of love. Its profession of faith, divine living. There are some today who bristle at calling Unitarian Universalism a religion. I myself often feel the need to over-explain our faith to newcomers, to say it's not your typical organized religion. But my UU polity instructor in divinity school helped me see things from a different perspective. He explained that in Latin, religio means to tie together that which is broken. And in that sense, I think ours is a religion. We are tying together that which has been broken in our world, our connection to each other, our connection to the earth, our connection to the sacred, our connection to the higher power of our understanding. A religion not dictated by creed, but protected by covenant, providing a safe place for relational and spiritual exploration and nourishment. Welcome to our newest members. Be ours a religion where we tie together that which is broken and where you may find belonging, that feeling of security, acceptance of your identity, and the ability to thrive. And now our offertory.
I'm so proud to be part of this service today and part of this community. When I was thinking of how to introduce the offering today, I thought of what we say when we introduce a hymn. Please stand up as you are able and sing. It's the same thing with the pledge drive or putting money in the basket on Sunday. Please give as you are able. Belonging to this community is a sustaining force in my life, and I know that's true for many others. But Buff can't continue to exist, and especially to exist at its current level of vibrancy, thanks to Sonny McMillan, without your financial support. So as the ushers come forward and pass the basket down the aisles, please give as you are able. And now I'm going to say what we say when we invite you to sing a hymn. So please stand as you are able, and we're going to sing hymn 360, Here We Have Gathered. Here we have gathered, gathered side by side, circle of friendship, come and step inside. May all
Our closing words come from Reverend Dr. Sarah Lammert, which she adapted from a transcript of a radio show with Joanna Macy in 1991. We create a web of life. This is finally the time to let go of that crazy notion that we can live separate and aloof from one another. We create a web of life. This is the time at last that we can come home to each other, to our mutual belonging. We create a web of life, and we create a web of life out of which every single one of us can use everything our stories have given us. We create a web of life, every part of our lives, even the cruelty, even the abuse, even the addictions, even the loneliness, even the failures. We create a web of life. A web of life is created within which you can rest in that knowing, because out of that you can act. Out of that, all power is yours. Out of that, you travel light. Out of that, you can step forward. We create a web of life. Let every encounter be a homecoming as we step forward now for the healing of our world. The world is not going to be saved by good people or noble people. The world is going to be healed by ordinary people like you and me, who are not afraid of pain and who are not afraid of loving each other. Amen. And now I affirm, as we extinguish our chalice, we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And now I invite you to circle around the sanctuary for our closing hymn, Circle Round for Freedom.
We have to go in a little, right?